Welcome back. So here it is where we left off last video. So I uploaded these images that AI generated and turned this one turned up with this whispering wind bakery and cafe name, and I like it. So we're gonna go with that. Instead of my coffee shop, how about whispering wind bakery and cafe. And for the title of the page, is it too long? I don't know. Maybe just whispering wind. Just so the tag is not so big. So today we are gonna look at tables and forms. So right now our menu doesn't actually exist anywhere on the page or on the other page. We've talked about coffee and pastries in plain text, but there's no actual structured menu. So let's fix that with a table. So tables are built from a small set of tags that always work together. Let's go through them as we build. So right now I'm gonna put the menu right here on this index, and then we move it to its own page. So we have the About Us section. Let's do another section, and then inside we're gonna put our table here. And inside our table we need two things similar to HTML pages. We need a table head, and then we will need a table body. Usually in our table head we just put the column titles, TR. And this is TR stands for table row, and then TH table header, and we are gonna do item, description, and price. So this is the beginning of our table, below the About Us section for now. But here we have table head, and then inside this TR, which means table row, are table headers, item, description, and price. So this is a row of the headers. Now inside our table body, we will be needing, again, table row, and inside the table row, table data, and then espresso, table data, double shot, for example, and then table data, .00. So here is the beginning of our table. So this is our table row. I will copy and paste. One, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and then we will put over coffee. Single origin. And then let's see, 4.450. Then our world very famous croissant. Baked fresh every morning. And this one will be 375. And then we will have our equally known hero cinnamon roll. House made. And this one is very expensive. So here's our little table. It's very ugly because it has no CSS yet, no styling, but this is the structure, right? Let me add text just so it matches the length, just for visual purposes. No apologies. Poor there. Each TR means is one row of actual data, table row. Each TD is table data, is one cell. Notice the pattern. Same number of TDs, cells per row as we had in the TH. So we have 3 columns per row. So again, here's our column. Ugly, but structurally correct. Okay, so let's move on now to our form, which again, I will place it here in the index for now, and later on we're gonna move it to the contact page, I guess. So maybe before our, this is not a real find us because we still don't have Google Maps or anything, but maybe below our schedule and above the find us section, this is the find us section. So let's section here, and inside here we do our form. So forms are how a website collects input from a visitor, the name, email, message, anything they type or select. 2 attributes are needed here. Here it only autofill with this attribute key value action. Action is where the forms data gets sent. Right now we are not gonna send it anywhere yet. This is normally a URL or for a backend. So right now we are gonna put this symbol as a placeholder for now because we don't have a backend yet. That's a whole separate series down the road. Maybe we're gonna do some Flask or something for backends. And then there's also a method. Method describes how the data gets sent. how the request is sent. A get or post are two common options. For now, get post dialog. We'll use get. And we will look at these methods again when a new series for backends. For right now, we're just gonna leave it like this. So inside the form, let's add our first field, a text input for a name. So let's do that. Label for name, and then let's name it and then let's do a only this shows up, right? Because we need the actual field input type. Now it knows it. The first one, it auto did the for, and then it did type text input. Well, this is a label, and this is the input field. So id equals name. I will explain this. Name equals name, and then let's do a required, and then let's break. Here it is. This is the input, and this is the label. So a few things happening here. So the label is the visible text name. This is the label. Here, this is the label. So what we put here is for this label, and its for attribute should matches the ID of the input. This is so the browser knows that this input field is for this label. And again, this is so screen readers know. Here, clicking on the name selects the input, and when focusing on this input, the screen reader says this label. So this is the connection between the for and the ID of the input. This is like saying this label is for this input. And how does it know is this input? Because the input ID is name, and this is for name. And then the actual input field, type text, tells the browser there will be text inside here, and the name equals name. This is how the data, when it gets sent, this will be the key, and the value will be the text we input here. Does that make sense? So now let's add an email field. Label for email. And let's add also a line break. And input, this time email is the type. ID email. Name is equal email. And let's also required. Required means the info cannot be sent unless it's filled up the input. It cannot go blank. 2 lines. If I omit this, look, this email and the field is below. If I delete this, it places it on the same line. And now the type email instead of text tells the browser to expect an email shaped value. So it will do its thing to validate the format. Like it will need an arroba sign and a dot something. It has like a little formula to validate if it's an email. All right, now let's add another field, label for message, message label, and then let's add a line break. Text area, message, and then the ID is message, and we can specify rows for, made it a little bit bigger, like the default number of rows for our text area. Calls equal 40. Yeah, a little bit bigger. And then let's add VR. So notice how this text area has an opening and a closing tag, unlike this inputs field, other input fields. This is because here we can specify it like a default text, like hello, and it will be here, right? Anyways. So now we need a send button, right? Because our form, once it's filled up, we cannot send it anywhere. So inside the form, let's add a button, send. And please fill out this field, because we said this was required. By default, it sends, it submits, but anyways, there's a type button, reset, submit. This is good practice, or that is what I've been told. Putting this is good practice. All right, but back to the button. So if we type here Luffy email hello world, and the message is hello again, please enter an email address. So this is what I'm talking about. The browser has its built-in email validator, and only because this require the type email. So hello at hello.com, and there we go. Got sent to nowhere. But at least it kind of works. So that's tables and forms for this video. Here's our coffee shop website. So next video, maybe we will send these to their proper menu or contact. So we'll keep building on this website. So that's it for this video. So thanks a lot for watching. See you on the next one.